Hey, I have a question for you. How do you know when it's time to stop eating the chips and salsa? Is it when the chips run out? When the salsa runs out? When your meal comes out? No one really knows, and everyone's kind of different. But I think the best way for me to explain when it's time to move from a core board to a high-tech device trial is to compare it to my favorite Mexican appetizer. Hey there, it's Emily, your virtual AAC coach. I'm an ASHA certified SLP working in a school-based setting and also specializing in AAC. So the chips and salsa are the appetizer that everyone at the table shares. But at the end of the chips and salsa, most people are left unsatisfied and wanting something more to eat. The same rule applies when considering when to move a child from a core board to a high-tech AAC device trial. Here are 5 ways to know when it's time to stop eating the chip. Here are 5 ways to know when to move your child from a core board to a high-tech device trial. Reason number 1, their receptive language abilities surpass the number of words on the core board. This is important because we know that any part of AAC implementation includes aided language stimulation. Now, if you have a very limited set of words on a core board, you're not going to be able to provide as much aided language stimulation as you would be able to on a more robust device. Oftentimes, receptive language develops a little bit quicker than expressive language, but if we're not even giving them access to those words receptively, how can we ever expect them to give them to us expressively? Reason number 2. They are making 2-word combinations on the core board and language is growing. Again, this is an issue with limiting the amount of vocabulary that a child has access to. If they're starting to combine 2 words, they usually have at least 50 to 100 words in their vocabulary inventory. There are not many core boards that exceed 100 to 200 words, so we need to get them on something that gives them access to more vocabulary. Reason number 3, they cannot access a core board manually. There are some students who are going to require a higher tech device, not because they need access to more vocabulary, but because they can't access something manually. We do have high-tech devices that are activated in ways other than direct selection, which is touching the screen, such as eye gaze or head tracking. So if a child is unable to access a core board, it might be time to trial a high-tech device to give them access to the same set of core words. Reason number 4, someone on the team thinks they should. Whether that team member be a parent, a teacher, a paraprofessional, or your supervisor, or yourself, I think that you should consider trialing a high-tech AAC device. You really don't want to be the person saying, no, I don't think they're ready for that, because then you're falling into the trap of the child having to prove something or meet a prerequisite skill before they're ready to move on to high tech. And that's not what high tech is about. Reason number 5, the student is breathing. Seriously, as simple as that. I just said it before, but there are no prerequisite skills to AAC, and that includes high-tech AAC. If the child is breathing and sitting in a classroom, then you should trial high-tech AAC. All of these reasons to say that if you want to trial high-tech AAC or somebody else wants to trial high-tech AAC with a student, I think that you should. High-tech doesn't necessarily mean better than low-tech. It doesn't necessarily mean more than low-tech either. You could move a child from a core board with 60 words on it to a high-tech device with 84 words on it, and so that's a growth in language exposure. But you could also move a child from a 160 location core board to a high-tech eye gaze device with 4 core words. It's less vocabulary, but at least now they can access the vocabulary. Does that make sense? If you take away anything from this video, I want it to be that a student does not have to master anything paper-based, be it a core board or PECS, before you decide to trial high-tech AAC. Got it? Thank you so much for sticking around to learn about all the reasons why a student should be considered ready to trial a high-tech AAC device. Now, if you want a really awesome printable to hang up in the classroom or in your office as a reminder to always consider a child ready, you're going to want to grab my Presume Competence freebie. You can find that at emilydiazslp.com/presume competence. Oh, and if you loved this content, don't forget to click subscribe to my channel so you are alerted when something new comes out. See you next time.